Dominic Alvarez, and this is my first time to be a dubber. So, thank you very much to Hectorious Alkaline for this trust. And super excited ako ma-share tong dubbing experience ko. So, sana ma-upload na to kahit di pa namin natatapos yung ano. Excited na ako sa output. So, sana yun, enjoy natin. And thank you very much kay Elven sa pagko-coach kung paano ba binabasa tong mga to. Kasi 19 years old ako, so that was 11 years ago nung naka-experience ako ng ganito. And for radio station pa yun. Yun, di talaga yung ganitong dubbing experience.
Ulit. X natin.
Okay, first dubbing experience for Hectorious Alkaline.
Recording.
Several years ago, in the land of dawn, there were two people whose love for each other goes beyond time and magic. The most vicious and cunning witch of all.
The most vicious and cunning witch of all.
The most vicious and cunning witch of all. Alice. Take, I don't know how many takes.
I-save natin.
Game.
Recording.
Several years ago, in the land of dawn, there were two people whose love for each other goes beyond time and magic. The most vicious and cunning witch of all, Alice, was in front of him.
Recording.
Ace woke up. Ace woke up.
Ace woke up.
Ace woke up. Ace woke up. And Ace.
Ulitin mo. Ace woke up. And
Ace woke up. Ace woke up. Even.
Ay, alam ko na. Kahit mag-ano ako, Ace woke up and about the same, tapos gagayahin mo. Tapos i-record na natin.
Oo, ganun nga. Tama.
Para nandun yung ano.
Oh, sige.
Ay, mas feel ka na. I-recording. Ace woke up.
Ace woke up, lost his life.
Yun. Tingnan natin.
Love it! I love that. I love that,
Several years ago in the land of dawn.
Several years ago in the land of dawn.
Ulit. Pagka umulit ako, uulit ka din.
Okay.
Several years ago in the land of dawn.
Several years ago in the land of dawn,
There were two people whose love for each other
there were two people whose love for each other
goes beyond time and magic.
goes beyond time and magic.
Together, the most vicious and cunning witch of all,
The most vicious and cunning witch of all,
Alice.
Alice.
Recording. Bakit nagkaganon?
Ace, the leader of the most powerful squad in the land. Ace, the leader of the most powerful squad in the land. Ace, the leader of the most powerful squad in the land has. Ace, the leader of the most powerful squad in the land has. With the missing.
Ulit mo siya, pero ito yung ditong part na to. With the hope that... Ulit.
With the missing of their age. Ulit. With the missing of...
lamigan mo yung...
Simula ko from the top. With the missing of their... With the hope that one day... Ay, gumawa ako ng sarili. With the missing of their lead. With the missing of their in front of them.
Last.
With the missing of their lead. With the missing of their... With the missing of their lead. With the missing of their... With the missing of their lead. Last. With the missing of their lead has become Alucard. Ano ba yan? Ulit. Alucard. Ulit.
With the missing.
With the missing of their lead. Ulit. With the missing of their Alucard. With the missing of their Alucard. Several years ago in the land of dawn, there were two people whose love for each other goes beyond time and magic. Several years ago...
Ginawa mo namang
Several years ago, in the land of dawn, there were two people whose love for each other goes beyond time and magic. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much. Last. The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much, whatever, much. Much, ano yun? Much was... Super last. The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. For none now lives will remember it. The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much is lost. For none now lives or remember it.
I feel it in the water.
The Lord of the Rings. Pag nawawala ako, binabalik ako dito.
Feel it in the water.
It began with the forging of the great rings. 3 were given to the elves, immortal, wisest and fairest of all beings. 7 to the dwarf lords and craftsmen of the whatever. And 9 rings were gifted to the race of men, who above all else desire power. For within these rings, but they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. In the land of Mordors and the fires of Mount Doom, a master ring to control others, and into this ring, his malice and his will to dominate all life. One ring to rule them all, one by one. Sige, try na natin. 7 to the dwarf lords, great miners and craftsmen. And 9 rings were gifted to the race of men, who above all desire power. The strength and will to govern each race. But they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. In the land of Mordors. Hindi ko alam kung tama ba yung nagsabi ko, hindi ko pinapanood.
In the land of Mordor.
Ano na? Mordors? Mordor? Hindi na ako lakas. One ring to rule them all, one by one. But there were some who resisted. A last alliance. Her race.
Nawala yung character. Ulit.
Meanwhile, tama naman pala. Ano ba yan? Meanwhile, her race. Together, ano ba yan? Meanwhile, together word. Meanwhile.
Ulitin mo dun sa years past and near.
Simula na lang. Meanwhile. 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 A skilled archer. Archer! Meanwhile. Ano ba yan? Pagod ka. Seryoso pa na. Meanwhile. A great... Meanwhile.
Ulit.
Baka narinig yung aso.
Meanwhile. Meanwhile.